Drop the gems. Drop the gems.
Hey, welcome to the Dropping Gems and Building Communities. Now, you can go and get some of the things that I'm talking about on Dr. Heavenly, Buffy. They are charging $2,500 to $3,000 to take a class. Dr. Heavenly's college, but I want to do it for free. I want to help my community for free, things that we were not taught in school. I want to be able to help you structure your life from this point on, whether you're 25 all the way up to 60. You should have things in order just in case with the things that's happening in our world today. So this is our first live on the only living trust book you'll ever need. It protects your assets and save thousands of taxes. So I also want to tell you that if you get a large sum of money, you should look into money market, which is very safe, and annuities. And in my bank, I have an annuity, and my annuities for 1 year, every year. So what happens is, if I need money out of my annuity after December 29th of every year, December 30th, I am allowed to withdraw money that one time with no penalty. Then it starts over. If you want it for a year or 5 years, you specify what you want it to be held. So I'm going to tell you right quick before we get into the trust thing. If you get a lawsuit and you get a bunch of money, you might want to start an easy money market certificate, which is tax-free. Or you want to start an annuity. Okay, so annuity account is long-term. It's tax-deferred insurance, contracts designated for retirement, where you make lump sums or periodic payments in exchange for guaranteed regular income in the future. They are ideal for securing a steady income stream, but often involves high fees and significant surrender charges for early withdrawals. So like I said, mine is structured for every year, once a year. So I know after Christmas, if I need a lump sum of money to cover, because I have Christmas lights all over the place, gifts that I buy for foster children, that I don't have foster children, but I help a charity. And what I give to that charity is tax deductible for me. And then by the time I file my increment taxes, I can claim what I help other people's with. So I want you to hear a fixed annuity, okay, is a guarantee and set interest rate and predictable fixed income payments, okay? Then you have the variable annuity. Invest in sub accounts similar to mutual funds. This is the one I suggest if you're starting early, okay? Allowing for higher growth potential, but also higher risk as payments vary based on the market performance. Index annuities. Interest is credited based on performance for a specific index. E.g., for example, is your index 500. I'm going to talk about all the trust, Miss Grace, blind trust, everything, okay? So I really don't want to show y'all this, but I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of mine. Hold on, I'm gonna show you a little bit of mine. And okay, wait a minute. Let me sign into my bank account. Okay. Let me get to it. Okay. Let me press on it. Okay. So I want to show y'all without showing y'all the balance. Every month, well, y'all see the balance. Every month for December 31st, my interest income was $29. But also my December 30th, my interest income was $447. 6,000. Here it go. December 29th, I earned 475 on this. Interest for November was 490. That's what I got. October 31st, I made 506,000. I mean $506 on my annuity. So once I made what I needed, you can see that in let me see. Let's go down here from last year. You can see that wait a minute. You can see July 31st I earned $506.56. August I started with 151,005 cents. You can see that I had 150,000 there. So once I gathered up, this is what I got. My interest was for September was 493,000. I mean $493.51. So that made my 151,498. That is an annuity. That means once a year I can withdraw any amount off that annuity once a year. But I do not withdraw from there. I try not to withdraw from there. And then I also have a money market account, okay? So I have a market account where I can withdraw from there. Is a slight penalty, but that's money that I keep on hand for an emergency. And I got more in there now. So if you get a lawsuit or you get your tax return, you can start an annuity, start putting money. You can pay that annuity money every month, or you don't have to because you're going to make interest off of that money. So let's get to the living trust. Hey, bye, Grace. Okay. All right, let's start over. I'm going to be teaching you the ABCs of living trust, okay? I want you to understand you do not have to be a millionaire to have a trust. A trust is like organization of your life. So if you start getting old and you have Alzheimer's or dementia, while you were in your right mind, you made determining factors for your life and you want things that you want, okay? So I need y'all to know that different lives and there's different types of trust. So what kind of trust I would get, you may not get that trust. You may not get that type of trust, but you can put tangible things in the trust. Your house is tangible. Your furniture is tangible. Your car is tangible. Some of the jewelry you got is tangible. It don't have to be thousands of dollars. And if you're deciding to get a trust, get a will. A will has you simplify your trust. How? Because you put in a will, you can put your children's name. Okay, let me write these three names down so I can remember: Sally, Joel, and Emily. Okay, so in your will, you'll say that Sally will get 20% of my trust, and then Joel gonna get 20% of my trust, and Emily will get 20% of my trust, and that's 60%. So if you have a spouse, I'm gonna put Tim. Tim will get 40% of my trust. So 40 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 equals 100%. Okay. So then say Sally gets pregnant and have a baby. So you want to take 5% of Sally's 20%, and you will give your grandchild 15% of that trust. If Joel has a baby, you can do the same with Joel. Take 5% off of Joel's money and give it to your grandkids. Put a stipulation on it for your grandchildren. Your stipulation for your grandchild is that they don't get their first payment until they're 25. But why they don't get their money till they're 25, the interest is continuing to grow on their money. You make sure that if Joel's son want a brand new car, Joel's son is going to have to work for that brand new car. Because at 18, Joel's son is not mature enough to handle money. They're not. No 18-year-old, I don't care if they was working since 16, they're not mature enough to handle money. When they get this money, you want their mindset more on buying a home, owning something. And while you're spending time with your grandchildren, you make sure they know that, listen, grandma wants you to go to college. Grandma wants you to do this. Like with London, I have money going to London separately, but London needs to have a 4-year degree, and London needs to be 25 to get her first payment. Her second payment and final payment will be when she's 35. That way, whatever London does with her money at 25 to 35, she know that she's going to have to work and make it stretch and save. Okay? So, let's get to what I just talked about on the other page. There are different types of trust. There's 2 trusts that you need to know and know the definitions. When you're sitting down talking to a trust accountant, they will say things that will confuse you. But if you know what you know, you can't slide in. And that's why I recommend you do your own trust, because the person who's helping you organize your trust will charge you up to $2,000 to $4,000 to do your trust when you can simply do it yourself. Okay. So the first trust we're going to talk about is a revocable living trust. This trust lets the trust maker, who is you, Kimberly, who is you by Grace, who is you, Sean, who is you, Aquarius, it will help you maintain control over your assets within the trust during your life. Your life. Now, a will is very good to get because you already have an idea how you want things to work out. I'm on live. Is it you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I guess I'll just call you back because I'm about to do my laundry.
Okay. All right. Bye. And so that's my child, Joan. Okay. So it gives you control over your access during your life. Your will help you determine how you would like to see things now. But to solidify it, a trust is more powerful than a will. It's more powerful. And you can always change your will. You can write your will on a piece of notebook paper and have it notarized. But a trust cements what you want. It cements what you want. So that is the revocable trust, meaning to easily remember what a revocable trust is. You can change it back and forth as much as you want. In contrast, an irrevocable trust is unchangeable. Remember, irrevocable trust, IR. You cannot change your trust once you've established it. Under no circumstances. None. If you make an irrevocable trust and you already done split Sally's money up, if Sally has another child, that child cannot be added to that irrevocable trust. Okay. This might seem restrictive, but it offers its own advantages, particularly in asset protection and tax benefits by relinquishing control over the assets in the trust. They're generally protected from creditors and can reduce estate taxes. That means, honestly, estate taxes. If I left this house to London and I got this house in an irrevocable trust, the city of Chesapeake, the state of Virginia can't touch this house. But let me tell you what London can do. London can sell my house while I'm in it. While I'm in my home, if London feels she needs money, she's in this trust, and I have her in an irrevocable trust, which I'm really basically giving London the house. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that right now at your age 60, 65. Be in your right mind, okay? So I'm going to tell you about other trusts that's tailored to estates, planning to individual scenarios. For example, I'm going to tell you about the charitable remainder trust. It provides a stream of income to you or other beneficiaries for a period of time. Okay. So that charitable trust, you can get paid from that trust every month. This can offer tax benefits and fulfill philanthrop- phila- your charity thing, philanthropical, okay, goals. Similar to a special needs trust is designated to benefit a child or an adult who have disabilities, and do so without risking their eligibility for government assistance. Now, I need to explain that to you again. If you do a special charitable trust and you have a son or a child that's disabled and they become an adult, this will not affect their Social Security check. This will not affect their disability check because you have taken care of the taxes and everything, and it's going to be listed that Joel receives charitable income, and it cannot affect their benefits. So if your son is going to get 250 a month and my charitable trust gives them 250 a month, making that $500 a month, the state still has to give them their 250 a month, and it cannot affect them. Now, let me explain something about Social Security. And you better remember this, and you better know this. If you get a Social Security check and you have more than $2,000 in the bank, Social Security can stop your monies. Now, let me show you. Let me show you. Can I have more than $2,000 in my bank account if I am receiving Social Security? If you receive supplemental Social Security, you generally cannot have more than 2,000 in countable resources. 3,000 for couples without risking your benefits. I need you to hear me on this. This limit applies to cash in bank accounts, right? And other assets. However, if you receive Social Security, disability, or retirement benefits, there are no resource limits. My husband received Social Security and disability because his accident happened at his job. So it doesn't penalize them. But for a regular smuggler person, if you are receiving Social Security, at the end of the month, once you clear all your bills, you cannot. If you have more than $2,000 in your account, Social Security don't have to pay you for the following month. They do not have to give you no money because you have that 2,000 sitting in the bank. It's hard because you really got to do stuff under the table, or if you need more than $2,000 a month, you have to work like at Walmart or somewhere that can give you money. Okay. So we got to put the definition on it. Countable resources include bank accounts, cash, stocks, and bonds. Your primary home, one vehicle, and some personal effects do not count towards the limit. Back pay exceptions. Retroactive Social Security payments do not count. That means if I apply for Social Security in August and in September, they will back pay me all the way from August, and I have a lot of money in the bank, it does not count. But if you are owed that much Social Security back, you need to get a new place. You need to get a new place. If you don't own a home, that would be the idea, to generally take that money and get you a small condo, townhouse, something small, and sink all that money down in it, because it's nothing like having your own. You see, landlords today are raising the rent at their leisure, and there's no ceiling in there. They tell you who can come in your apartment, who can stay with you, who can't stay with you. You got to worry about somebody stealing your mail. You got to worry about people coming into your house. But if you get a large lump sum of money and they back pay you, it's be wise to buy you a nice, inexpensive townhouse that you can manage with your benefits. Okay. Um, So, able accounts, okay? Money in an able account is generally excluded from this limit and is a way to save more than $2,000. So, if you get Social Security, make sure you get an able account if you plan on saving money, because that can't be counted. I need y'all to know that. See, they don't tell you that you can have an able account. They scare people and say, well, if you got more than $2,000 in your account, then that's countable. And we're not going to pay you next month because you have $2,000 in your account. You make sure you specify to your banking facility that you need an able account. If they say, what is that? You pull it up. You Google it and you pull it up, because people, the banks don't want you to have that. They will not tell you what you're supposed to have. You got to go deal with your financial situations in the know. You cannot say, well, what about if is there any way you can help me? You think a bank is going to tell you how they can help you? No, you can't even get rich people to bust down how to help you manage and save like them, because they're so busy worrying about, are you going to make more than them? That's the thing. That's what I learned about being around rich folk. They don't want to tell you how they got to their mission. All they want to do is make sure you keep being the consumer to them, making them rich, instead of saying, hey, I'll give back. I'll get back. I'll teach you a little mini financial course and tell you that, listen, these are financial tips. These are only tips. I'm not liable for any money loss in financial markets. That's why I don't tell people what I invest in. I don't tell them, because Buffy, me and her was on the phone during COVID. Buffy told me that I should invest in this video store, GameStop. So I took $800 and I invested in GameStop. This is Buffy Purcell. Me and her on the phone. She telling me, because of COVID, the stocks is dropping. But when the stocks drop, that's the best time to buy. Yes. She told me GameStop, because people are going to be putting on masks, going to the GameStop, getting video games for their kids, and the stocks is going to go up. So I said, okay. I put $800 in GameStop. Within 30 days, I had $8,000 from that $800 investment in GameStop. Right now, when they invest for your 401k, your company is investing in things that you didn't even ask for. You don't even research it. You don't care. You just know that you got money over there in your 401k. You got $1,000 this month. 3 months down the line, you got 4,000. The 5th month, it tanks and you're back to your $1,000. You want to take control of your money. And that's why I'm going to tell y'all about an IUL. If you are healthy, change your 401 over to an IUL, or turn your 401 over to an annuity. That means if the market crashed, they crashed without your money. So when the economy started turning around, I rolled over the money that I made from GameStop. I didn't invest in that no more. The world is open. Nobody's going to keep Patreon, GameStop. They got Walmart open now. All these places are open now selling secondhand video games. And I made my 15,000 and rolled it over into medicinal marijuana. And what's happening? They're legalizing marijuana, and they make it so much money on it. Now they want the marijuana stores to make a count. You got to pay taxes on that now. But when I invested in medicinal marijuana, you didn't have to pay taxes on it then. But I made a Google gang of money. And what I do is take that and invest it in other things. Say, wow, let me pay attention. But see, reading Warren Buffett, I learned when somebody is selling their stocks, but they don't take all their money out, that makes the shares go lower. And that's when you should jump in it. If you buy 3 shares of something that's $100, you put that $300 on it and sit there and let it grow. But your interest is to look at the S&P 500. That is you. That is you. All day long. That is you. Read up on your S&P 500. Have your job send you quarterly or monthly statements on your investment with the company. Some people, they invest and their employers will invest too. Listen, when you decide to roll over, your employer is not going to give you their share of money to roll over. I'm letting you know that now. Hold on. Miss Davis. Excuse me?
This is Clayton Spruill. You call me David?
No, I said Miss Davis. Let me call you back because I'm teaching a class.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, but
And so I am telling you that when you have an S&P 500, a lot of your employers, they say you invest this and then we're going to give you some too. But when you decide that you're going to take control of your money that you've been investing in with your employer, when you go to roll it over, I promise you, they're not going to let you take that. Okay. So let's get back. Let me see. I am also learning about the stock market, which proves to be true. It is follow the money. People like Warren Buffett. I'm just saying, you're right, Renee. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I like talking about money, not what I have, about helping people manage their money, right? And you notice we only have 8 people over here. Now, if I was talking about some bull lang lang, I would be packed out. So y'all make sure y'all share this, because I'm also going to do a class on teaching our children about money. Not only that, on this page, if you look on the community wall, the post, I have put videos in here that is talking about trust and trust mistakes. Right on this page, is in the post or the community tab. I don't know if I got a community tab because I don't have 500 people, but I posted it where you can click on it and you can read about mistakes of building a trust, and it tells you the mistakes. Okay. So let's get to the minor trust. The minor trust can be set up for families with younger children and manage and protect assets under those children to reach a certain age. Like I told you, none of my grandkids will get any money until they're 25 years old, because I require that they have a college degree. So if they know I need this 4-year degree to get this money, hold on, who is all these people calling? I apologize for the inconvenience, y'all. Y'all know I own a business, so a minor trust can be set up for families with younger children to manage the protect assets until those children reach a certain age. Just do not give your grandchildren money. Just do not give your kids money, because you know what? You and I at this age know how hard it was to earn this money. And you just don't want somebody to take your money because they didn't earn it and just blow through it. So put some stipulations for a minor trust, okay? So illustrate the range of the illustrate the range of the living trust, okay? Make the availability clear, like when people could get their money. Um, and there is an estate planning tool that you can look up on Google and Chat GPT, okay? So, the benefits and purpose of a living trust are often used in modern estate planning, offering many benefits beyond the traditional asset distributions after death. Now, I told you, you get a will. That will should be your blueprint or how you like things to look. Your trust is what people are going to do what you said. When you get a trust, you should be the beneficiary. You, not you and your husband, not you and your child. You are the first beneficiary. You are. Okay. So, moreover, living trust provides a layer of privacy that isn't possible with a will. In the will, you have no privacy. In the trust, you do. Okay. Let's get to these pages right here. These are some groundwork, the DNA of building a trust, of starting a trust. Okay. This legal document is essentially the core of a living trust. Specify distribution wishes. Please, if you got 3 kids, Sally, Joel, and Emily, you don't want you to not even be in the ground. And Sally, Joe, and Emily is fighting over your money. You need to specify how your assets are distributed to your chosen beneficiaries. This could include immediate allocation after your passing scenarios. That means, listen, you in the hospital and Sally's up there. In your trust, it also always should have Sally gets money in 7 days. Joel and Emily can get money after Sally handles everything. But I got to tell you something important about Sally now. Sally may not like Joel and Emily. Sally may not like Joel and Emily, and she'll say, Joel, I ain't giving you no money right now because you disrespecting mama and all this kind of stuff. Specifying distribution will take all that away. Sally cannot like Joel and Emily, but you have specified it in your trust and it has to be done. Okay. Identify the trustees and successor of the trustees. You are the trustees. Your successor would be Sally. Okay. The agreement names you, the trust agreement, it names your chosen trustee who will manage the trust accounts. It also identifies successor trustees in case the original trustee, which is you, is unable and unwilling to control your trust. This will protect you, where your children cannot say, Mom, you shouldn't live in that big house. We're going to put you in a nursing home to get the money. No, that can't happen. It can't. Defines the scope of the trustee's powers. This is where I tell you that Sally doesn't like Joel and Emily. And Sally tries to bow hog and say, y'all not going to get y'all money until I feel like it. No. If the trust agreement shows which trustees can and cannot do with your trust assets, This includes power to buy or sell the asset. Sally can't roll her butt up in here and sell this house with Joel and Emily. It would tell you, like me, I would designate, I would have, hold on, let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something that me and Tim has been working on right now, right? This company right here, Berkshire and Hathaway, right? This is a luxury realty company. And in my trust, I have put their names to sell my home. It tells you about, and I got more than one home. So it tells you what they do. I got them in my will saying, okay, the first thing you need to do is to, put my house on the market, enter property in database, the appraisal, listing, presentation. This will go to my trustees. After this company puts my property on the market, then Premier Real Estate and Luxury Living, they come into my house and tell me what needs to be fixed, what needs to be updated. All this is in my trust, so that if something happens to me today, they're going to take over. They're going to take over. They get a certain amount, and then Sally and Joel and Emily will get individual checks from Berkshire and Hathaway. You have to have everything down to tedious. And guess what she gave me? Where is it at? What she did was gave me 50 staging tips to sell my home. She's telling me all the things that I need to get rid of. She's telling me what I need to minimize, adult spaces versus kids spaces. While I'm still living, she is telling me what I need to do. Also, she is giving me comps in my area. Comps in my area, what is selling in my area, all the way to the end, so I know what I'm trying to make. Like I looked at a house, a ranch home, and the house is, let me see how much. It's $606,000. This is what I see that's out there. But my house is worth more than that. Okay. So that means if I feel like in the middle of me and Tim getting old, I want to move to another home, she's telling me on a quarterly basis, every 3 months, what I'm looking at, what I'm looking for, because this home and my Florida home, I intend on selling it. My liquidation, if I need money, my liquidation of my Florida home, which is on the market now. And it's not moving like I supposed to, but you know what I did? I staged it high to bring it down to what I really want. You got to do that. So let me get back to the next thing. Identify your trustees and successor. I'm the trustee, and then my children will be my successor. You do not want a lot of successors as far as 3 of your kids being your successor. You don't, because there's going to be a fight. Define the scope of the trustee's power. Sally will have power, but not like she thinks she will. I have a bank involved. I have a mortgage company involved. Everybody will get their separate checks, and there will be no fighting. Then you got the outline provision for amendments or revocable. Most living trusts are revocable, meaning that they can be altered and dissolved, but not by your trustees, not by your successor trustees. Make sure you know that, okay? Your successor trustees cannot come in and do things, okay? Bank accounts and investments should also be put inside of your will. Your personal property, tangible. Tangible mean things that you can touch. Personal property such as vehicles, jewelry, art collections can also be included in a living trust. This ensures that items of both monetary and sentimental value are distributed according to my wishes. My trust will have my wishes. Your will outline what you want to happen. Your trust will make what you want to happen happen. Remember that. Your business interests, you want to put the ownership of your businesses in a trust. That's where I have a family trust, including stocks in closely held corporations, partnerships, or LLCs can be placed into a living trust. If you got an LLC, you better hurry up and put it into a living trust. You got LLCs? See, people get these LLCs just to say, I got an LLC. You need to protect that LLC at all times, because guess what happens? You have people like this. The labor law compliance, you see that? The labor law compliance note. This is because you have an LLC. You make your check payable to the LLC. You got to pay taxes on your LLC. That's your business tax. That's you got to pay taxes on this LLC. You can say you got an LLC, but if you ain't paying to keep it up yearly, you just saying I got an LLC. That's what kills me about people who say I got an LLC. But if it is not heavenly in compliance, you have no LLC. I had to sue somebody one time, and they was like, I got an LLC, but they weren't up to compliance. So that made their money free game. And I won. I fell off of a curb on their property because they were digging and putting stuff up, and I fell off the curb and broke my. I sued them, and they came to court and said I got an LLC. I needed them to validate the LLC to see what they in compliance. They were not, and I got my money. So everybody can run around and say they got an LLC. It don't mean anything if it's not in compliance. You just don't start a LLC and then say, fuck it, I'm not doing nothing else to it. No, you have to stay in compliance with that state. Okay. Let me get to this. You got life insurance policies. Life insurance policies proceed generally avoid probate. If you have a life, it generally avoids probate, but through beneficiary designation, as the trust can own the policy itself. Put your life insurance, say you got Lincoln Benefit, Mass Mutual, put that in your trust. Put it in your trust, because if you don't, then that's what you need to be buried for. I had a friend whose father did not put, he had a trust, but he didn't put his life insurance in the trust. And what happened is the life insurance would not pay until he was buried. So they had to come up out their pockets and bury him, and they couldn't cremate him. Thank God he went to church, and the church did the funeral for free, but they had to buy the coffin. They had to do everything. And the other two children did not want to pay for the coffin, did not want to help with the flowers. And guess what? The one child who paid for the funeral got her funeral payment up front according to his trust. That showed him, who was going to do it. And he knew that this one child was going to do it, and she got more money. And the other sister fought that she got more money and lost her portion of the money. He put as a stipulation on the last page, if any of my children fight over the money, they lose their share. Okay. Intellectual properties like your YouTube page, your copyrights, your patents, your trademarks can also be included, ensuring that these assets are properly managed. put your intellectual product. So anybody who got an YouTube page and like mine, I don't have my YouTube page in my trust. Why? Is because people are around here just striking people and taking their pages. And suppose I have it in a revocable trust, and it says that I can't change it. Irrevocable trust. I can't change it. And I got this YouTube page. This is strictly just entertainment for me. I can tell y'all, I don't make no more than $350 a month on YouTube. Sometimes it's less. It depends on how much I come on. Where did you get that print out? From the website? No, I got it by me reading my book. Y'all look, my pages are tore up. Because I not only am talking to y'all about it, but I do teach a class on it. It came out of my book. This is page 14 right here. Wait a minute. That's page 14. And then my little hand is page 15. It came out of my book. I suggest you get the book. And the reason why I'm teaching you from the book and not just off the cuff is because I want y'all to be able to see what I'm talking about with you. This legal document is essentially the core of a living trust, okay? The building bricks, the trust properties. A living trust can hold various assets, making it a versatile tool for your estate planning, known as the trust property. These assets from the building blocks of your estate. Now, first block should be your will, because it lets you see your idea of what you want to see happen. Okay, so that should be your first building block, a will. That's like your sample page, okay? But building a trust should include your real estate. One of the most common assets to integrate into a living trust. Types of real estate include your primary residence, vacation homes, your rental properties, or even land that you haven't developed yet. I have a vacation home, but I'm gonna tell you what kind it is. It's one of those timeshares, and my timeshare is paid off. Okay, I have that timeshare. Yes, I'm going to keep this video up. On this page, we will not be talking about mess, because they're trying to strike down everything on Speak With Your Girl Marcella. But this page is going to be strictly business. This page will not have a lot of views. This page will not have a lot of subscribers. But I'm okay with that, because I'm not here for trying to gain monetary on this page. I am here trying to help my people. That's it, for free. So you want to make sure you got your real estate in there. And my timeshare is already designated to go to London, because she's my first grandchild. Okay. Then I got my bank account investments. Oh goodness. I got my annuity, my savings, my brokerages accounts, everything in my trust, my personal property, my tangible things, like my phone, anything that I deem that's important to me. My business interests. Ownership of interest in business. Now that right there, I own a business with my family. It doesn't have my name. It ain't Marcella, whatever it is, because I don't want to tell you that, because people be doxing, and I'm a doxer, I know. So anyway, I got my life insurance in there. I got my intellectual properties in there, my copyrights, my patents. I got a diversity stuff in my trust. And I recommend that y'all get this book, because this book is going to help y'all. It's going to help you a lot. I might leave out something that's important. Then you come back and say, Marcella, you didn't say this. Okay. So I want to, I'm going to stop at page, let me see. I'm gonna stop at this next chapter. I'm gonna stop at this next one after I tell y'all. This, and I'm gonna come back. I promise you. I promise you. Tim and my mother-in-law has been sick, and I have been with them. Okay. Key players in my living trust, and I call it a production as well. The mastermind. Now, I need y'all to hear this loud and clear. And I done said it several times in this video. The mastermind of the trust is you. You are the mastermind. Okay? Every living trust starts with a trust maker, which is you. Do not put your husband, do not put your kids, do not put your grandkids, because if you make them the mastermind, the trust maker, they can take everything from you while you're living. Okay? The second person is the trustee's manager, my trustee. The trustee has a huge role as a manager, but you got to make sure that it specifies, even though they a trust maker, a trust person that's preparing for you will say, you don't have to put that. You don't have to specify that, it's only if you can't decide, because they're they're not really working for you. They're working for the person under you. And when they work for the person under you, it gives them an income. You make sure I want you to type that in. Only if I am not able, deemed medically, that I cannot be a deciding factor. My daughter cannot come and say, oh, she has Alzheimer's. No. It has to be deemed medically that I am incapable of making decisions about my trust. Because let's face it, when it comes to money, people get greedy. Whether they're your kids, your husband, or anybody, they have a huge role. The trustee has a huge role as a manager of a living trust. Responsibility and overseeing the estate by following the trust maker's details. That doesn't mean they're going to follow my instruction, but I got things in place for that. Okay. Asset management, like with my daughter, you think that I'm making her part of my trust and I'm not educating her or just keep telling her this is what I want. This is what I want is written down. This needs to be done. And I'm telling her the consequences if she tries to be deceptive. Because remember, I got these people in here, right here. I got these people over my house saying, we're going to sell it. You get this much, you get this much, you get this much. Because if you leave somebody a house, you got to know that they got to pay taxes on it every month. You got to know that. Even if the house is paid off, you still got tax for the house. They got to be paid to the city and the state. Your asset management oversees the trust assets, the distribution of the assets. They're not going to tell you that Joel and Emily only get $10 while you get $500. You make sure. Tax obligation. Remember, you're dead. There's still tax obligations. Ensuring that the trust complies with all relevant tax laws, filing income tax return, and paying any taxes owed by the trust on time. Let me tell you what other bill is left. It's just not the taxes. When you die and you have an electric bill tied to that house, that electric bill got to be paid. The electric bill just can't be switched over to somebody else's name. That means the electric company later can go after the trust with a lawsuit from the light bill, the gas bill, the water bill, all that stuff. You want a trustee who is responsible, who will take care of all those things. Even if they pay all those things out of their money with a receipt, the trust must pay them back first before distributions, before giving Joel and Emily any money. You got to have legal duties, acting in a fiduciary capacity. Now, fiduciary, we're going to talk about that word because that is on your bank accounts. That ain't what you read. When you signed up for your bank account and say, I want my direct deposit here, people don't read the fine print. Fiduciary. So let's look up that word right quick, because that's going to be very important. Even with the bank accounts you got today, you need to go back and make sure you checking on this, okay? Hold on. Fiduciary accounts. Fiduciary accounts are bank or investment accounts managed by a third party. The fiduciary on behalf of another, the principal beneficiary, requiring the manager to act in a beneficiary best interest, not their own. So, for example, my mother-in-law told my husband, if something happened to me, you can have all the money in the bank. Here's my bank card. Here's my checkbook. His name is on the account. But if she would have did all of that and did not check the box of POA and fiduciary, he would not get that money. Okay? So it's a trust account, custodial account, guardianship conservative account, power of attorney, fiduciary duties. The manager must follow a high standard care, often governed by Uniform Prudent Investor Act. There's legal and tax implications. The fiduciary accounts require detailed reporting of income, expenses. Fiduciary funds may have specific codes for tracking in government or legal custodian. Just because you take that money doesn't mean that money is not tax deductible. There is everybody that's accountable for every part of your life right now, today, even that you're living. But you got to get ahead and educate yourself on this and know these things. And okay, POA in bank accounts. POA for bank accounts is a legal document allowing a designated agent to manage financial affairs such as making deposits, withdrawals, paying bills. This is what my husband do every month on behalf of the account holder. It is essential planning for potential incapacity. The POA must be presented to the bank, which will verify documents, and the authority ceases upon the principal death. So I want y'all to see this right quick. The authority ceases. Ceases means stop upon the principal's death. So if my mother-in-law dies and she has $20,000 in an account, once the hospital notify Medicaid and all these people before you even get a chance to, the bank stops you from being able to withdraw money. And that's where that fiduciary comes in at. You got to be a fiduciary. Go to your banks. You walk in and you said, listen, do I have a fiduciary on my account? Of course, the bank don't want to tell you, but you need to say, I need to make sure I have a beneficiary on my account. Or where does the money go? Your kids are saying, my mom got $20,000 in the bank. Where's that money? Well, she didn't leave a beneficiary. And you don't get that money. If your mama ain't left a beneficiary, even if your name is on that account as a POA, when she died, it died. And people don't understand that. So let me finish this one chapter. So you got legal duties. You need clear communication when you have a trust. This is not a document that you do the trust and then you put it up in a cabinet and you ain't told nobody where this document is. You die and your whole family is in a shamble. They don't know what to do because you have not walked them through each steps. ending in your life. Like my daughter Jade, when I talk to her, you know what she tells me? Mom, please, I don't want to talk about it. You need to talk about it. I'm 60. There's no guarantee I'll be 61. You need to know what to do to handle my business. But when my premier luxury estate broker came in here, she told me everything I need to do. Make sure my curb appeal good, create the wow factor, make sure all my projects are completed, keep it simple by not adding clutter to your design. All this that she told me. Your closet is clutter. Your office is clutter. I'm so glad she don't go to my company where my office looks worse. But she tell me what to do. You have to have your life in order because this is the second phase of your life. Even if you're 40, it's time to get ready now. It's time to get ready. Okay. You need to document your decisions. If you have a revocable trust, document your decisions and sleep on it before you go in there drastically and change something. Listen, all our kids are not going to make us happy. Like I told y'all, my son smoked meth, right? But that doesn't mean I'm going to leave him out my will. What happens if meth takes his life? Then his son will get his share. And I specified that. His son will get his share of money. You gotta structure it like that. That if this happened, scenarios, just don't make a will. Think on every sound decision you make. Think on everything you make. Document your decisions. Maintain your details. Seek professional advice. And I'm going to tell you when to do it. You seek this professional advice. You go on Google and you pull a free outline to a trust. Make 3 copies of that one that you pull. Make 3 copies of it. You make one that this is going to be my trust. These 2 are going to be being my samples. This is what I think. And then you sleep on it and say, no, I want to change that. You put it on the second paper. What you change? Look at your 2 samples before you put it on your main trust. You go into your bank and ask, I created a trust. Can you look over it for me? But be sure what you write on that trust is accurate on what you feel, what you want, because you got 2 sample trusts over there where all your mistakes should be made on those 2 sample trusts. So I want you to come back. I promise you, I may not have the fancy thing, but I promise you I'll be back here tomorrow. Me and my husband, I'm so tired. Like I told my husband, I'm tired. I can't run to another city to his mama house and take care of him. I'm tired. He doesn't want anybody to help him but me. But I have said I'm tired. So I'm going to give you some key takeaways and then I'm out of here. Understanding the basics. Everything I've told you today, I want you to Google it. Listen to me, then go Google it. Listen to me, go Google it, okay? It's important for everyone looking to streamline their estate planning to understand the fundamentals of a living trust. Understand the words irrevocable and revocable, okay? Understand how you give your beneficiaries, what stipulations you should do with your beneficiary. Empowerment through planning. The trust maker, which is you, role is one of empowerment. This person offers a proactive approach to securing a financial legacy. You got to make the decision. You cannot let Emily come and say, Mom, I really need the money, please. No. Stand on your business. This is for their future. I know we hate to see our kids struggle, but sometimes struggle makes them stronger for when they get your money, okay? Have a strategy. management, including a diverse range of your living trust. Like, please don't give your grandson or your granddaughter because they so cute their money at 18. Don't. They're not ready for it. They didn't earn it. So they won't value and save it the way you have. Okay. You got to have beneficiary protection. Living trust offers direct advantages to beneficiaries, such as avoiding probate. We're going to talk about probate tomorrow. We're going to talk about probate before we go into another chapter of this book. Y'all got to understand that probate will take all your money and your children will be left with pennies when they finish. Role of the trustee. It's very important to select a trustworthy person to be your trustee after you, which is called a successor trustee. Ensure that they will not stop your donations from going where they are. Matter of fact, you should also alert if you plan on giving it the money to an animal shelter. Let the animal shelter know, upon my death, here's documentation. You will receive $50,000 from my money. Make sure they know. That way, if you die, because I'm going to tell you what a nursing home did here. Do you know a nursing home did some fake documentations? Made a will that said this will and trust supersedes any wills and trusts that I have. They made the old lady sign it. And when she signed it and died, the one that they did in a nursing home, which was illegal, went to grab the old lady's money. But her daughter knew. You just make sure if you got to go in a nursing home, you put on your documentation in your own handwriting. There will be no decision makers without me on each page. You cannot do any legal documentation with her. You cannot do any of these things with her or him or your father or whoever. Yes, good information. The bank is closed today for Mardi Gras, but tomorrow I'm asking about the POA and the fiduciary, like naming your beneficiary and when they can act. Can you put a house in a trust where it can never be sold no matter what? Yes, you can. And that is called irrevocable trust. That's where you have to put a house at. Irrevocable trust. Not the revocable. Revocable means it can be changed, but an irrevocable can't be changed. Estate planning, accessibility. The Living Trust helps with estate planning, making it accessible and effective tools for individuals across different life stages and financial standards. I need y'all to understand you can go out and hire someone to do your trust, but then they're doing your trust and you'll never understand the verbiage in your own trust. You want to do your trust. Then you have to add it into the city. You have to do a lot of things after you do it. Okay? So y'all, thank y'all for coming. Give me a like because there's only 8 views. Give me a like and share. And tomorrow when we come back, we're going to be talking about debunking the common living trust misconceptions. To, like, you don't have to be rich to need a living trust. I told y'all that at the beginning of this video. You don't have to be rich. I want you to go into the post on this page and look at mistakes people make in their trust. It's on this page. Look at the videos. They're 7-8 minutes. Look at the different videos that I put on this page for you to know about trust. I thank y'all for coming. I'm going to stay committed to you on this page. Let's not talk about no drama on this page or any TV people. We're going to talk about our business, okay? So this will stay up here. Y'all, please come back tomorrow. I will be coming back tomorrow, and I thank you for visiting. On the other page, Speak with Your Girl Marcella, we're going to be talking about Wendy. We're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. I know I got some personal insight on Monique. I'm not even going to say what it is, but we're going to be talking about Bell Collective. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of things, but y'all here, next time we come on tomorrow, I can't tell you what time yet because me and my husband got some, I got to take him to the doctor. But what I want to say is get your pens and papers. Y'all can come back and watch this video anytime. Get your questions for me, and I will answer it to the best of my ability. And I thank you for being here. And I gotta go because I don't want to give you too much where we get lost in the sauce. Bye, y'all.